are your experiences of Niki and being around him and him being a part of the team?
Well, there's so many experiences, and many of them I can't say because he was so direct and he said things the way he wanted and meant. But I would say the main thing was, for sure, he was always there to support after a good result of the race. But the main thing was, if there was difficult times or difficult race or disappointments, he was there to speak and to support, to motivate. Because as a racer, he's been in one of the worst situations in racing history that's affected his career and his life, and he managed to bounce back from those difficult moments. So he knows exactly how a driver's mind works, and he's been a massive motivation for the whole team, which has definitely helped us for better results, and that will continue even though he's not here. He's going to still motivate us to do well.
I have a fantastic memory of him. I remember a race I did in Monza. I was starting in Formula 1. I started 14 and I finished second. I nearly won the race. And I remember he came to the podium to give me the trophy and took his hat off, and he didn't do that many occasions. So that was a very special moment for me. Saw legend, fantastic guy out of the paddock. I think very lovely guy. He will really be missed, and yeah. I think now we have to support his family, leave them alone for a bit, but always remind them how important Niki is for the Formula 1 family.
Just a legend of our sport, and very sad news I woke up to yesterday. I read the news, and obviously I knew there was some health issues in the last few months, but I thought it was getting in a better shape in the last few months, and then unfortunately yesterday we've had the news. So yeah, it is very sad. He has achieved a lot in Formula 1, but just overall I think he's an example of never giving up, no matter what the situation, and especially after the crash he's had, to come back and to have the success he's had after it was just incredible. So he will be missed deeply.
Yeah, especially I think in the early days in McLaren, we sometimes went from track to airport on the same car and had a good laugh. But good memories. But very sad news to hear this.
For me, it was the man who never gave up. Really, I think in terms of determination and just an inspiration for all drivers, really. But his story, I think it resonates with all of us. He's clearly got this hunger, and the way he came back, it's inspirational.
The on-track stuff, I guess a lot of people are aware of. I mean, they made a Hollywood movie about it. So, for me personally, it was more what I shared with him. The few moments I did have a conversation with him and cross paths. He spent a bit of time in Red Bull. I think he liked our breakfasts more than Mercedes. So he was in there quite a bit, and naturally we would talk. And I just honestly, it was kind. The words he had for me, whether it was advice or a bit of a witty comment or something. I don't know. It was always ended with a smile or a pat on the back.
Well, my first memories are of course of him being a two-time world champion and being a legend in the sport. And outside of that, he was always a great person. He had a lot of humor as well, and just a great guy. And I'm very passionate about the sport still, even after his career. So it's a big loss to have won, but of course the biggest loss is of course going out to his family, and of course the thoughts are with him.
Obviously, I didn't see his accident in Nürburgring, but when you grow up and you love Formula 1, you've got that image coming, and the car burning, and then Niki returning back to Formula 1, in Monza, and then fighting for a really good position, fourth, I believe, and then being world champion, and then you must think about a red cap, and then about Mercedes and what is built with other people to create that incredibly successful team, which is dominating Formula 1 at the minute. So Yeah, it was no bullshit with me, Niki. He's always a kind words to you. Was always telling you the truth. A pure racer, loved Formula One, and I think since Nürburgring, every day was like a bonus, I believe, and he made an incredible life out of it.
Having had the opportunity to know him, to talk to him, to ask him all sorts of things, how the cars were, how the time was with Ferrari, how was Enzo Ferrari, all these things. Obviously, he knows extremely well, and was shocked, I think, as everybody, to hear at the beginning of the week the sad news. So I think it's a big loss for Formula One community, for the sport. It's an icon that we lost and will be impossible to replace.
It's difficult to describe in a few words, no? But for me, Niki Lauda is one of the last true heroes, legends that there were left from back in the 70s, 80s that were driving those cars to the maximum at an incredible high risk, and with that heroic figure on him after the comeback that he did. So many people, when you speak about Formula One, you speak about cases like Lauda's, the passion for the sport, the passion for racing, the risk factor taken into account. I don't know, it's very difficult to describe in a few words, and I've been trying to think about it these last few hours because I knew these questions were coming, but I cannot put it into a few words. It's just sometimes it occurs a lot of stuff, and then sometimes it's just a bit more simple than that.
I think, as you say, it's definitely a big loss for the sport. One of his main characteristics, although I never worked with him, he was clearly a big racer, and in those days, I think it's very rare to see how passionate and how racer he was. A very direct person, in F1 paddock has changed, but he never changed. So we definitely lost a big racer and big person who wrote a big part of story of the sport.